Terrell here, and I'm here to talk about the new movie, Nine-Ring Golden Dagger by Well Go USA, coming to digital on July 1st. Make sure I get that right. You already know, Well Go always hit me with the exclusives, the good stuff. Um, if you guys aren't familiar with this is again, the name of it is Nine-Ring Golden Dagger, being brought to the U.S. Like I said, by Welgo. I wasn't sure what I was going to get out of this movie at all. When I see a good Chinese wushu movie, or like this particular style of movie, your Crouching Tiger, not exactly that, because like this is as the movie starts off with telling you this is pure fictional, like this is not real, which I actually do like, that this is not like a fictional story or a true story about a specific era, because I feel like I've had enough of those, like where I watch a lot of these movies and it's like a overly dramatized version of past events. Give me an original story, give me something here. This movie is a lot of different things. It feels it's like an action, it's drama, it's heist. It's a lot of different things rolled into one that you normally wouldn't expect from this specific genre of film. But let me get into the synopsis of what this movie is about. If you were planning to go see it, like I said, it's coming out digital on July 1st. But let me give you the synopsis here on what the movie is. During the Northern Expedition of Yongxi in the early Song Dynasty, General Yang Yi historically sacrificed himself, and his posthumous reward, the Nine-Ring Golden Dagger, fell into Liao territory. A decade later, his daughters, Baba and Yang Jiumei, set out to reclaim it. Facing relentless dangers on their return, they ally with Jiao Guangpu, former soldier of Yang Yi. Together, they outwit and overcome 3 enemy attacks, ensuring the dagger safe return to Song lands. Like I said, I really wasn't sure what I was getting here. And it's also I think this is also going to be on Haya too, which I definitely see, because they show it in the credits of the movie. Haya, if you don't know, it's a strictly martial arts films of this genre streaming service. Which, thank you for doing the Lord's work. We appreciate you for doing the hard work, because it's going to get harder and harder to get your hands on these type of movies. Let's start off talking about the story for Nine-Ring. I felt like for a while I was confused. Like, it took me a while to catch up to what the story was, or like the setup for the story, because it does bounce around a bit before it kind of gets to like the overall point where you find out, okay, we set up the story with the two daughters. The two daughters want to reclaim the dagger that their father was supposed to get and bring it back home to their land. We're also setting up the story of the other soldier, who is pretty much like the Robin Hood, stealing from the rich, given to the poor, or in this case, given to himself, so that he can get back to his hometown after everything that's happened. Again, like I said, the story was the story. I don't feel like I need to overly. I mean, I feel like just gave you the synopsis. Like the daughters of the general, they're trying to get back the dagger. And hijinks ensue. They have to fight, which all of them are highly trained, by the way. So like, that just makes the story even much better, because like some of the stuff that you see is absolutely incredible. But yeah, like the story is the story. I don't feel like it needed to be more than what it was. Like I said, I'm glad that this wasn't a fictional piece, or this was a true story, because I feel like I would have been sitting there thinking about like, okay, this is a little ridiculous. I don't see nobody doing that. Like, you kind of overthink it, or you start to question events when it's supposed to be based off of actual events. I mean, they do movies like this all the time, where they'll take an event, but they'll kind of jazz it up a little bit, or like I said, overly dramatize certain events. Nine-Ring definitely has a lot of fun with this story. And that kind of jumps right into my next part, which is the action, which I feel like is the overall highlight of the entire movie. Every scene they show from the beginning where they have like a big war scene. Like I said, no spoilers, but they have a big war scene, and they're absolutely going crazy with the spear. You see a lot of spear action. It makes me think of like Dynasty Warriors a lot when I watch that scene. Make the fighting style, like I said, you primarily see a lot of spears. You do see swords, but not as many, and you see a lot of like arrow, like bows. So you definitely get to see a lot of different weaponry, like how it's used, and I feel like they all kind of have their own viewpoints or like camera angles to show them a little bit more effectively. Like when you see them like casting the bows, like the camera's behind them. Like it's not, you do see it in front of them, but I feel like they showcase a lot of the weaponry and how they use it. Especially like I said with the spear, which gets a lot of showtime in this movie, gets a lot of screen time, and they do an amazing job with it. Some of the stuff that the stunts they do during these action scenes, the blood alone is crazy. People are getting stabbed left and right, which I definitely enjoyed. Really brought this movie to life a lot more, especially like I said, seeing a lot of the war scenes, which I thought they did an incredible job with. Like I said, I mean the action is the standout. I mean, you definitely, even if your story is meh, you want to make sure that your action stands out, and I feel like they did an incredible job with the choreography of this movie. Like all the fight scenes, I have no issues with. From the beginning to end of the movie, like there's like a fight pretty much throughout the entire movie, or some action scene. But I don't feel like there's a lot of the story. Like I said, the story is there, but I feel like the action is really what's telling the story in this movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because we already know the setup, like them trying to get the dagger, them coming across like the soldiers. The two sisters are absolutely just badass as hell. Like with the spear action. But they do a really good job. I'm glad we didn't like linger too much, because this movie's only like an hour and 30 minutes. So you only got so much time to tell the story you need to tell before you got to get up out of there. But like I said, there's just the action of this movie alone, like I said, will be the highlight. Honestly, I mean, from that alone, I think it is worth the watch. If you do have an opportunity to watch, like I said, it comes out digital on July 1st. I do think it's worth the watch just for the choreography and the action alone. I'm not telling you the story is like the greatest thing in the world, but like I said before, the story is the story. I feel like when you go, I'm not going to make excuses for story writing, but it could also be a language barrier thing for why I kind of didn't gravitate as much to me, or just overall like culture barrier. Like it's just certain things like it didn't catch me. Like I was interested in, but I was interested. Like I said, I was still interested to see kind of how the journey went in the action. But like I said, it was incredible. As far as like I said, the actual actors and the stunts themselves, like I thought they did an incredible job. Not too familiar with a lot of the Chinese actors that are in this movie. And I'm not even going to try to butcher the names, but like I said, the majority of the main cast, which are doing all the fighting, they do an incredibly good job here. If they're not the actual ones, like the stuntmen, like if they actually had stuntmen, I'd be surprised. This feels like Jackie Chan era of like wushu, like Chinese, like martial arts movies, where like Jackie was doing everything himself. Like there wasn't no stand-ins for the most part until he got older, where it was like, all right, I might need to tell out. But no, it feels like everybody was legitimately doing their own stunts for this movie, and it looks good. Like it looks good. I couldn't tell you. I mean, obviously there was some wire work and stuff like that, but they do it cleanly enough that you can't even tell. That's how good this is. Like I said, I don't want to linger on it too long. I thought the soundtrack overall, like the sound of the movie was incredible. But like I said, the action is the star of this movie. It's worth the watch alone, just for that. NINE-RING Golden Dagger. Like I said, you should be able to get this July 1st. Hiya. Well go Entertainment, well go USA. Appreciate being able to watch this. This was definitely worth the watch. I hope that if you guys have the opportunity, or if you're a fan of the culture of a good martial arts movie, of these particular stories, like I said, I do recommend it. But just keep in mind, like I said, I don't think the story is the highlight of this movie. To be like, oh, you know what, that movie had a good story. the action is pretty much what you're going to be following this for. Like I said, July 1st, check it out digital. Let me know if you guys get the opportunity to watch this movie, what you thought about NINE-RING Golden Dagger in the comments. Like I said, I did enjoy it. I love the action. The story just probably could have been a little bit more for me, but like I said, 90-minute runtime and pretty much 80% of that was action. Is I'm not mad about it at all. So if you guys get the opportunity, like I said, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the movie. Appreciate you. Well, go. And I will see you guys next time for another review. See you.